pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong adventure that fuels the fires of curiosity and ignites the sparks of wisdom. Good morning to everyone gathered here. I extend a warm welcome to our college management, our distinguished dignitaries, our visionary and vivacious principal, our proactive and prominent placement cell, our dedicated faculty members, and last but not the least, my dear student community. Culture diversity thrives through the exchange of ideas, thereby creating interconnected styles. As we begin our new journey, let us honor the land, following the wisdom of renowned Tamil literature, Tirukkural, which states, Agara Mudala Ezhuthellam Adi Bhagavan Mudatrே Ulagu. Out of reverence and esteem, I kindly request everyone to rise for Tamil Thaivarthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதிர் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாளும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
We take a great delight in introducing ourselves, myself Muhammad Armugan Alam and Anuradha Krishnan, two humble final year engineering students of Easwari Engineering College. We are thrilled and honored to serve as Masters of Ceremony for the much anticipated NeXus 1.0 Thought Leadership Series. This event marks a significant milestone in the history of Easwari Engineering College, and we are thrilled to guide you through the inspiring journey. Established in 1996-97, with approvals from the Government of Tamil Nadu and AICTE, Easwari Engineering College has been affiliated to Anna University, Chennai since 2002. Accredited by National Board of Accreditation, we pride ourselves on a 95% placement rate in top IT companies. Our philosophy of continuous learning drives us to foster both academic excellence and essential life skills. Our distinguished faculty members with vast academic and industry experience inspire students to achieve excellence and competence, ensuring all-round development.
Great things are done by a series of small things brought up together. Embracing, educate and excel as our college motto, we the student community feel privileged to inaugurate NeXus 1.0 with unwavering support from our management. NeXus 1.0 presents a remarkable opportunity for students of Easwari Engineering College to gain profound insights into industry trends. Our vision is to accomplish and maintain international eminence and become a model institution for higher learning through dedicated development of minds and advancement of knowledge, for which NeXus is a great platform. With the word in itself, Nexus means connection or link. This is our perfect moment where the chance of a lifetime has knocked open the window of opportunity and knowledge. This session is carefully created to navigate us through the career growth in Global Capability Centers, GCC, the innovation hubs that forms the backbone of corporate world.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause as we welcome the first chief guest of the day, Mr. R.K. Ramachandran, who is an icon of success and dedication on the dais.
Mr. R.K. Ramachandran, Associate Director, National Talent Leader, Deloitte, is a beacon of innovation and leadership in the realm of human resources. He brings over 2 decades of expertise as a strategic global HR business partner, transformational leader, and OD specialist. With a distinguished career spanning across industries, giants like Capgemini, Cognizant, Accenture, and TCS, He is renowned for his strategic acumen in workforce planning, HR analytics, and digital transform. He embodies the quote, "The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less." His impact resonates across broad borders, shaping the future of HR practices worldwide. We are extremely delighted to have you with us today, sir. Next in line, we have the living testimony of achievement and consistency right here with us. Honored attendees, please put your hands together as we warmly welcome Mr. Swaminathan Raghavan, an inspirational personality in software industry. Mr. Swaminathan Raghavan has a notable track record of over 25 years of experience as the Director of Software Engineering at Walmart in Chennai. He leads the enhancement of the runtime platform, data platform, and developer productivity tools. His skills cover a wide range of areas such as architecture, design, development, and testing of compliance platforms. He also excels in tool automation through technologies like RPA and AIML. His dedication to fostering high-performance engineering teams, fostering innovation, and promoting teamwork and diversity is deeply ingrained in his work. His career is the testament to the quote, "Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality." On behalf of the management, we extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Next to follow, Mr. Ganesh Siddhamalli, Director AIML Engineering, Verizon, to the dais with a round of applause. He is an indicator of accomplishment with nearly 22 years of eliminating leadership and unparalleled expertise at Verizon. He has not only navigated the intricate tapestry of data and AI with masterful skills, but also have set a golden standard of excellence in his field. His journey from the pivotal realms of Deloitte to the cutting-edge frontiers of AI industrialization showcases a career marked by relentless dedication and visionary prowess. He is a shining example for accomplishments and steadfastness. He crafts a groundbreaking strategy and lead a team of tech virtuosos. He transforms challenges into triumphs, turning data into gold and innovation into legacy. His work is nothing short of symphony of brilliance, orchestrating success and shaping the future with every data point and model. Indeed, his contributions are the bedrock upon the Verizon's technological marvels and built, illuminating the path forward with a beacon of inspiration and excellence. We are truly thrilled to have you join us today, sir. In succession, we call upon Mr. Vijay Sankaran, Product Development Comcast, who is an essence of excellence in technology and HR, to the dais. A travel enthusiast and seasoned professional with over 24 years of consumer electronics embedded software specialization in video delivery and consumption. He has witnessed the evolution of the set-top box industry to OTT, deploying solutions globally with APAC, Africa, the US, Europe, and Japan, including over 8 million devices in India during the early 2010s. One of which is at Prime Minister's residence in Ahmedabad. His expertise spans from chip-level drivers to middleware and operations, with work experience in Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, and international locations such as US, Japan, Italy, England, France, Hungary, Thailand, Serbia, and China. He is a player of excellence, transforming challenges into opportunities and setting the gold standard for success. We are incredibly honored to have you with us, sir.
A real ray of light is a ray of hope. In the glow of lamp, we find a spark of unity and strength. Let us step towards the bright path. Now, we will have the auspicious lamp lighting ceremony. To mark the auspicious beginning of our event, I am honored to invite our esteemed chief guest of the day for ceremonial lighting of the lamp. This tradition symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and the heralding of knowledge and wisdom.
दीपमङ्गल ज्योति नमो नमः तूय अम्बल लीला नमो नमः देवकुञ्जरि भागा नमो नमः अरुள் तारा.
The moment we all have been waiting for here. Without further ado, I hand over to Mr. R.K. Ramachandran to take over the panel discussion.
Okay, fine, cool. Thanks. I could see a sense of touch on the AI when you're reading the profiles. Okay, thanks for it. What we have given is kind of added lots of frills. Okay, thanks a lot for that glorified introduction. And so coming back to the serious matter. Okay, so friends, the door is always open for you. Okay, for any biological break. And we got eminent personalities from the GCC industry, and I would request you to pay your ears for next 30 to 60 minutes, which is going to be a kind of an eye-opener for you. So having said that, and I'm just going to jump into the topic now. So we are all here, and for one common purpose of listening, understanding, and manipulating our thoughts around this industry called GCC. Okay. So 1900, I'll give you a backstory, a small backstory. So from say 1980 onwards, when the IT starts picking up well, okay, you've been hearing this word called software companies, software industries, okay, and nearing 2000, you would have got to hear ITES industry, okay, enabling services. So friends, no matter what, however the dice goes, please leave it to us, okay. Let four of us take the control of the dice. Okay, stay down. Thank you. So coming back to this, in 2000 you could see that ITES, which is BPOs, KPOs, and all this stuff. In the recent past, you could see lots of new words called AI/ML and Gen AI and all of this thing. In the past 6 months to 1 year, especially when these kinds of big product companies, they use a word called GCC. What is that GCC? If I have to put it in a very elementary term, one of you have, while you are introducing the session NeXus, you have been using the word called research and development innovation. So basically, the country which has a well-rich talent resource strength would be identified for any kind of work which happens in the backside of the main corporates, bigger brands. It may be used for research and development, it may be used for innovation, it may be used for their back office, which is shared services, BPOs. And GCC is a kind of a well-refined word that is just not only the BPOs and the shared services, it's also that their own value-added cost centers would convert it to become a kind of one of their mainstream of function, which can be their innovation center, which can be their R&D centers, which can be a main product line design center, or could be of anything, which could contribute to the headquarters mainstream of service. So why so these personalities, if you ask me, the word GCC, okay, so today there is one industry without which we can't live, communication, media, entertainment, okay, which avidly invites more GCCs to our country. That's where we have these two gentlemen from those telecom background. One is Mr. Vijay from Comcast and Ganesh from Verizon. The two top most spoken companies from this CMT telecom arena. Okay. And retail FMCG is something, even COVID comes or goes, any other COVID 2, 3, 4 comes, FMCG sectors cannot die out. Okay, that's one of the most wealthiest, richest sector, which is inviting more talents towards his GCC. We have a great man, Swaminathan from Walmart. Okay, for which to coordinate all this, you need a people person like me. That's where I am. Okay, I come from a brand called Deloitte. So having said so that let me just jump into the session. So slowly you could see that as a student, as an academia, how GCC could help you or how you can get benefited from these topic GCC. So that's going to be a good nexus of conversation happening in this zone. So let's jump into the topic. So let me throw my first question to Mr. Vijay. Okay. So could you just give us a quick story on how this GCC is getting evolved and what sort of industry acclimatization it is making around it?
Right. So the GCC, as Ram mentioned, it's a global capability center. So let me take a step back. 20 years back, we didn't have, 25 years back, we didn't have these many GCCs in India. Uh, we had the great Tata Consulting Services, the Infosys, Wipros, and all those guys who had set shop here. And we were exporting software from those companies, and those companies still continue to exist. But the one big capital that India exports to the world is our intelligence. We have the intellectual capital. Okay, so the GCCs, even though it's a new term, they found that by more than by collaborating with the companies like Wipro, Infosys, TCS, Cognizant, or for that sake HCL, when they began to set up shop here, they started as small incubation centers to test waters. One of the earliest GCCs in the country was, if I'm not wrong, was Cisco. That's what I remember. Sun Microsystems. These are all big brands. They continue to be big brands. So they started as small incubation centers in the late 90s to early 2000s. And what they found was more than collaborating with Wipro, with the I would say the software services companies, if they directly absorbed the engineers, they were getting a much throughput, which I would say that they were able to fuel more business, and the embracement of the company culture was much better than when those engineers worked as contractors for those companies. So that was the starting point for these companies to invite or set up more cost centers, I would say, to set up in India. And mid 2000s, from mid 2000s, there was a flurry of these multinational companies from US, Europe to start setting up their own offices in India, and they were able to absorb local talent. When I say local talent, it was not just for doing small menial jobs, but they were working, they were hiring people to do high end research and development. Well, cost was definitely a factor for doing job, for getting the job done from India, but nobody's just going to come here for just cost. But the main thing that India contributed to those companies was in the form of intellectual capital. That was their biggest asset. That was the biggest asset that we Indians brought to the table. Okay, so that was the first starting point for GCCs to start incubating in India, and it was just a matter of time that there was at some point of time no CEO in the US or no tech CEO in US was unheard of this India success story. Okay, so they all wanted to be in the race to set up their uh, shop in India, or I would say software development center, or for that sake, any research and innovation center in India. So some of the big brands like GE came to India and they called their center as a research and innovation center. It was not just any other software development center for that sake. Research and innovation was fueled from here, and lot of several brands. I can go on listing the names, but the list is actually endless. So that was the journey, and because young Indian students coming out of engineering colleges, where the intellectual capital, they contribute to the intellectual capital of the country. That is a tipping point for those companies to start setting up shops I still use the word called shops, but it's primarily development centers in India.
So Vijay, if I may ask you a little bit deep down, so is it, you going to see this as a very sustainable business for this country, and what sort of the uptick you're going to see it in this industry?
Definitely, this is definitely a sustainable working model. But the key thing for any industry or for say, any company is innovation. Innovation, the mantra on which every company continues to survive. There have been big brands that had died just because they were not able to innovate faster to the changing landscape. And we Indians are known to adapt to any changing environment, any disruption that's happening in the market. We'll be the first one to embrace that, adapt that. Europe is not able to do that. America definitely is not able to do that. Japan will be very, very slow to react. But India will be a very safe country, or I would say very young country. The country's average age itself is very low, very, very low. And that enables us to change to the any disruptive model that is happening. And Indians are innovating. No company would be setting up their shop just because it helps them save a few $1 million or $1 billion. Because we are able to give back to the company in terms of innovations and patents. Okay, maybe there should be some real study being should be done on how much amount of patents are being filed, even though it's being filed in the US Patent Office. How much is being contributed from India? I don't know whether there are real numbers being dug out, but should there be a serious account of the number of patents that are being filed from India? That number is actually mind-boggling. I don't have the exact numbers, but in all of my earlier organizations and the current organization itself, definitely we will be hearing of patents being filed every now and then. Okay, so that is the one that is fueling these companies to continue to operate and grow the numbers to operate from India, rather than just put cost as the only factor for for continuing to operate from India. Though cost could be a factor, but it is not the only factor. Innovation is the uh, driver, the stimulus for these companies to grow and invest in India, not just in tier one, tier two, tier one cities. They are expanding into tier two cities as well into India, and they are going much more closer to where the talent pool actually comes from.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That was kind of an eye-opening word that you have to hear it about. It's nowhere that India is away from the global market. That's a great point. So let me just jump on what's more relevant to these people. If I may take the pick the brain of Mr. Swami, that how does it typically that IT services, anybody there's a kind of a myth, whatsoever the discipline you pick it up, you end up in an IT services. How does GCC is going to get differ from that, and what is that, the if I have to ask in the raw word, how does a placement differs from the GCC and the IT services?
Yeah, thanks, Ram. Good morning, everybody. So, basically, I think that's a great question. So, there are two sectors, as Vijay mentioned. The way how we started, mostly everybody towards doing the services. So, and from there, where we are marching towards is developing the products. So, most of the products are going to be developed in India and then shipped, and it has been used globally as well. So, that's the talent pool that we have. So as far as the placement is concerned, I don't see any major difference as such. But when we are hiring talents, especially from an recent college grads, they need to really the companies hire them in terms of to pick their innovation. So you will be keeping on hearing this word innovation multiple times, at least 1,000 times in the next whatever hours we are talking about. That is one thing. And then the second thing that we need to really look at is the energetic mindset that we have, the flexibility within the talent pool that we have to adopt the change, to embrace the culture in which they are going to work. All those things are available as a talent as by nature because of the diversified culture that we have in and around India as well. And If you really look at what's the major difference, I would definitely tell about the interview process that they follow. So basically, the product companies and then the service based companies, there is a little bit of a change in the way how they hire people, especially on the recruitment process. So in a product company, mostly or GCCs, majority of the talent what they look for is from an technical skill set, and then no, they always have multiple rounds as well. First, I will also go in depth. I hope I'm doing good on time as well. So I'll go in depth in terms of giving an example like how many rounds of interview will be there in product companies and how it will be in service companies as well. In the product companies, basically, you will have an online test assessment. That's why I think you always need to be looking at lead code or hacker earth or hacker rank, various other medium in which you could be able to work on some of the problem solving ability. So that will be your first round altogether. That is to filter because many people getting into the campus placement cells. So in order to filter that, that will be the first and foremost. For you to get out of it, always I would suggest each one of you to go and have your lead code or whatever platforms that you are good at, just master them. In there are multiple levels of complexity in terms of problem solving, and at least I would suggest you all to go for the dynamic programming and then start looking at the second aspects of it is on the and of course in online test as well there will be some MCQs on data structures and algorithms, and then networks, RDBMS, and various other internal subjects that is especially focusing on the computer fundamentals. The second round will be mostly on the technical round, where you will be given some problem solving questions and you will be asked to write the code. Write the code in the sense it could be a pseudocode. So you would be able to write the code and then get to understand. And when you are explaining the code, you will be able to explain it better. That's what the first round will always. Whether you are writing the code perfectly, I enter the code and then not compile it and then it is working well. That is not the expectation. Your logical thinking, your analytical thinking, and then how do you approach the problem, and then how you are addressing it in a programmatic manner as well. That's the second part of it. The third round will mostly, there will be another round of technical here, mostly on the puzzles. So, a lot of real world problems or puzzles will be provided, and then you would be able to address that as well. The next round will be a techno manager round, where mostly focusing on the technical aspects in terms of the fundamentals, as similar to that of in your online test, how you used to have MCQs on data structures and algorithms and networks and everything. Here also in the technical round, you will be asked to, if you have done an internship, you would be asked to explain the projects. So when one more suggestion and request to this group is like whenever you are doing an intern, don't definitely do what has been given to you as a task. So try to understand why you are doing it, what are you doing it, how is there any other alternate solve that is really required as well. Those are all the part that will be definitely coming as part of the review, especially on this particular round. Then comes the HR round. So this is from a product company's perspective, more or less similar, but in the service companies there will be only three rounds. At least the technical round that I am aware of. The technical round mostly covering on your computer fundamentals and then the subjects that we are talking about. And definitely you will have a HR round there in order to look around your skills on from a culture fit perspective, and then no behavioral aspects perspective on leadership aspects. I think that's pretty much.
So that was quite self-explanatory, sir. Your speech, thanks a lot. All that is what you have been doing. Do it with more conscious. Okay, is that what you have to do it rather than just
getting it going in a pattern of what the good old TCS and Wipros have been doing it for ages. Okay. So I'm putting it in the kind of orchestrating in a way of a story. What is GCC and how do you have to get into that? And I'm going to hear from Mr. Ganesh that, how an institute can drive the student towards the GCC, number one. Number two is, and how the students can make use of those intangible infrastructural benefit given by the institute to tune them to the this branded GCCs and whatsoever.
Um, um, for me, I think it is the preparation which is first. So I know everyone is having papers, but we were thinking we can just talk. But it is a preparation, and we want to make sure that we are covering all the points. That is one important thing that everyone should be aware of. Even after 22 years or 25 years of experience, if there is if there is even a presentation that I'm doing to my CTO, I would be sitting in front of a mirror, doing my preparation, making sure I'm able to talk for 15 minutes, the topic that I'm doing. And that's the only reason I have papers over here with topics, to make sure that I'm able to call out on each and every item that I want to cover. So don't shy away from that. And that is very, very important, whatever age you are in. So starting with that, right? Understanding the industry, right? If you're planning to attend an interview or you're planning to go for even an intern with Walmart or any GCCs, first thing that you have to do is know about the company, know about the industry. That is very, very important. I remember maybe 15 years back, a person who was coming for an interview, I'll be amazed where he'll be looking at the stock price. He'll be looking at, like, for the last 1 month, how your stock is performing and why it is doing wrong. And that type of information is what GCCs would be expecting it, because when you're joining a company like a company which is in telecom industry or retail, the first thing that we would look for is not knowing what you're going to work on as a computer programming, because we can give training and everything, but knowing the industry is very, very important, because most probably Comcast, Walmart, for everyone, customer experience is the first thing that we want to make sure that they are taking care, which means it's about how you're solving it. It can be a chat bot or whatever it is, but knowing industry is really, really important. The second item is developing the relevant skills, right? Um, how many of you guys are from the background of computer science over here? So almost 50 percentage. And so what is relevant is really important, right? So you go through your curriculum like for 4 years on whatever that syllabus is teaching, but knowing what is latest and getting yourself updated on, okay, this is what is happening, is really, really important. So how many of you guys know about prompt engineering here? So one or two, right? So this is what I'm talking about, right? So Gen A is what we are talking about here for almost 2 years now, but it doesn't mean that Gen A is just going to be the only thing, but there are certain aspects of Gen A that you would be able to easily learn and then start working on it, which is prompt engineering is one of the concept like that. So acquiring the required skills, right? You're going for an interview, you're going for an intern. When you come to Verizon and knowing particular aspects, like, okay, we know about prompt engineering, I have experience for 3 months, fine tuning some of the prompt engineering is good enough for me to just go out and talk to you about prompt engineering and then kind of recruit you for that, right? That is really important. Gain practical experience. I think we already talked about making sure that there is internships and other things that are available. Not only that, you can participate in any of the Kaggle competition or lead code or whatever it is, to make sure that again, it is about trying, right? So you're not worried about whether you're going to win or not, but it is about the trying, the efforts that you're putting in, that really matters, that will automatically bring you to the stage that you're coming in. Networking, that's another example that I want to give. I attended a Gen A conference like 3 months back. I saw first year students and second year students of a different college sitting over there, talking about GPUs, talking about infrastructures, irrespective of whether you want to talk or not, but sitting over there and then knowing what is happening and then networking with people who are from the same background is really, really important. And you guys should make sure that if you are given a chance to attend some of the conferences like that, just go out and attend it. Soft skill matters, which is known and it is part of the curriculum. You have to have very strong communication, very good problem solving skills, certification, continuous learning. We talked about lead coding, but certification, when it comes to that, everyone are thinking AWS, GCP, we have to pay for certification. I have recommended to almost 1,000 or more than that, where there is a certification course that is available in GCP, which is a free of cost. So you can have everything done. And today, you have code lab and everything available with GPUs. GPUs available for you guys. And if you use your college ID, most probably you get more credits for you guys to try out on whatever that you want to do. So most probably you should go ahead and take care of that. Understanding the corporate culture is very, very important. Joining any GCCs, it is good to know, okay, what type of corporate cultures they have, and then like you can even change your resume based on that, and then kind of give information of what to do over there. Finally, I have two things, which is global perspective and being proactive, right? Global perspective is really important because you're going to work on a GCC where the GCC is doing business in their own country and not in India. So automatically, you need to have some global perspective of what is happening. Like going back to the knowing industry. So what kind of TV programs or something that US would be watching, all of those are something that you should be knowing. So based on that, if there is anything that is a question, you can go ahead and answer. And finally, being proactive. When I asked how many people are from computer science engineering, I would expect the next second everyone raising your hand and then calling out things that you want to call out. Being proactive is really, really important, and that is what we look at from each and every people. Doesn't matter whether you're programming or not, but being proactive is very, very important.
So that was so elaborate, Ganesh. Ganesh, do you want to give any advice or suggestions to the institute that they have to focus upon to enable these kids?
I think we had a lengthy conversation with the principal over here. So, first thing is making sure there are more specializations that are available as part of their curriculum, right? So, they have to make sure that it is well known, and when they are working on it, I know there is an AML specialization. When there is an AML specialization, it doesn't matter. I think there was also a comment. They go to Google or they go to AWS and then they just have an API call and then they say that, okay, the programming, the model is done. That doesn't matter for us. Anyone can do it. I can do it. I don't need to have another intern to come and do it. It is about knowing the whole pipeline, starting from how is the data kind of collected to building the use case. What are we trying to solve? Like, I know that most of the intern projects would talk about chatbot, right? But the concentration when you guys asked about, okay, what did you guys do in internship? You should not start with, hey, I did a chatbot. You guys should start with, I had this problem statement where this is what the cost is involved in solving that problem. And after understanding the problem, we went ahead and had a solution. So that type of training should be there for each and every person who is coming out of the institution based on the specialization they are in, so that it is easy for them to kind of tackle the situations.
Thank you, Ganesh. This question was extensively discussed during our prelude session before we come over here with your fraternity. Basically, I asked this question to Mr. Ganesh is for you to understand how you can make use of the infrastructural facility of this college. Okay, so this has been built with rich infrastructure, the knowledge infrastructure. I mean, so I think it's a responsibility for you to tap it. The more you tap it, as Ganesh said, that your outcome would be more efficient. Okay, let me just get into some global aspects. People always have that kind of onshore, offsite, and all that stuff. So let me ask Mr. Vijay that you touched upon the diversity and the global culture. So how does how the GCCs which coming to India is going to influence the diversity culture? Do we going to have the overseas cross-border experience? All this possible in this new GCC era?
That's a brilliant question, I would say. No company wants itself to be branded as a company specific to a specific region employing people of a specific geographical location. So all the GCCs, to my knowledge, where I have worked in the last almost 20 years, we have taken enormous amount of pain to, or not, I'll not say pain, efforts to ensure that there's a good mix of employees with diverse background. Okay, all said and done, 50 percentage or close to 50 percentage would still be from that state in which the facility is or the company is situated. But definitely more than 50, around 50% or more than 50%, hovering around that number, the people will be from across the country. So in order to do that, what a lot of these GCs do is, especially when they visit campus, they don't restrict themselves to a particular state. I personally have visited Hyderabad. I have been to Cochin, several other Bangalore for that sake. We could get a good harvest from colleges situated out of Bangalore. I had recruited people from BITS Pilani, across the country. So that way, we want to ensure that there is a good mix of people from diverse cultural background as well. So not just with respect to geographical locations, but also with respect to gender as well. So we want to promote a lot of female in the leadership position as well. A lot of companies are taking a lot of efforts to ensure that there's a mix of male, female people on the leadership position as well. It's a there's a perception that it's when it comes to leadership positions, only male get elevated to that position. But a lot of these companies, especially the GCCs, they are also taking a lot of efforts to ensure that they propel female people as well who are doing exceedingly well to get into leadership positions, and giving a lot of flexibility for them as well, so that they continue to be remain employed in the organization and they are able to get elevated to that respective position. So that's a question on the diversity aspect that these companies are working on. With respect to overseas positions, okay, let us be very clear and practical about that. Okay, it all depends on business. Okay, if there is a business need, well, I have traveled to a lot of these countries where there is a business need for me to go to those locations, work with my respective customers or respective stakeholders, and deliver a project and ensure that that project is actually deployed and come back. Okay, so that's business related travel. So that definitely does happen in every industry, irrespective of whether it's a GCC or whether it is a traditional software services company operating out of India. So business dictates that. Apart from that, a lot of these companies also publish their internal positions as well worldwide. Okay, so anybody within the company can apply to those global positions. And if you do have the respect, and when you apply to those positions, irrespective of whether it is in India or whether it is outside of India, if you do have the necessary qualification, you have got the necessary, you have got the enough credentials, track performance track record of all the things, that's what at the end of the day dictates. Okay, so if you do have the track record, any company is going to deny you of that opportunity, even you have to relocate. I personally have known people in my friend circles, in my earlier companies, who have got relocated to other country where the GCCs are operating, or the multinational companies are operating, where they have got their respective capability center in other countries as well, and they have performed really well in those locations as well. At the end of the day, it's all business. It's not that no company is going to put a say that okay, you are in India, you are going to be in India only. It is business that drives the need at the end of the day.
Friends, hope you heard that. Okay, so we kind of going back to the 2000s and 2010s. Depends on the business needs. On-site, offshore movements, women leadership is much expected. So that's most invited. So let me ask Mr. Swami a question that would GCC proactively collaborate with the academic institutes? And as Ganesh extensively pointed out, what as an institute that they have to prepare their kids for GCC. But as we are one of the GCC magnet, our country is one of the GCC magnet. What is that the responsibility of the GCCs to collaborate with this employable population or the institutes, if I'm asking this question?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the thing is definitely GCCs require talents, and the partnership with the academic starts from co-owning the curriculum as well. So there are some GCCs which work with the academies, set up the curriculum for what they wanted, and then no, once that is done, then they will also provide an opportunity on internship as well. And there are some GCCs where clearly carve out this is what is really required from the talent pool that we are looking for, and they will be getting trained on that and then getting hired. And from day one onwards, your productivity is going to be on the higher side as well. When I say productivity, you are going to work on that particular product or the technology area that you are working on is going to be very seamless because you have learned it, you have underwent the course in it, and then you have also experienced that during your internship, and then you have also developed the skills that is really required. It is easy to really cope up with the rest of the engineering population within the teams as well, or within the team as well. So that's one part of it. The second part of it, what the GCCs can also do is they can definitely encourage the internship in a longer period of time as well. That is also one of the things that we could be able to do. I know most of the engineering colleges now, they are really providing an opportunity for the students to go on an internship with any of the companies as well. But when they are able, but the duration might be here and there less. When you are looking at the duration is less, they will not be able to do a full blown internship where they could be able to learn a lot of stuff. So the academic can partner with the GCC for an internship program as well, and then in an elongated time period. So that's the other thing that I would like to call out. And then next one is definitely, the academic can have an R&D within their campus and encourage people to start thinking about entrepreneurship as their life goal or next steps. So the reason for that is entrepreneurship within these students is going to give them towards moving towards innovation. And one more time, I called it out innovation. So definitely, the bright minds are definitely going to start thinking about it, and that is what is really required. Today, how you are shopping today may not be the same as that of tomorrow. If I need to move towards that, the innovation needs to be there. So definitely R&D is going to be very important, and they can partner with startups and start thinking about working towards that as well. So I think these are all some of the ways that academic and the engineering colleges can work for the students and enable them to have their career in one of the GCCs as well.
That's brilliant, Swami sir. The industry and the academics, it is a two-way street. Gone are the days that people invite, academics invite the industry or the companies for the placement. It's also the other way around. Industry picks up the academics also, the institutions as well, in such a way that they train, mold, and ensure that they are landing with them. So it's a two-way street, and the responsibility lies on the either side, is what Swami says. But the responsibility of yours is to make use of the infrastructure, as Ganesh says. Okay. So my next question to you, I'm asking all the questions from your thought process. This is to Mr. Ganesh. So from your family side or your peer side or a fraternity side, you have been always, got mucked up with the brands. TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, Accenture, SCLs and all that. There are players who are better payers, better career mode. I'm not saying that these are the brands we work, so nowhere we are degrading. Of course, they are great brands. And there are lots of startups. There are startups with a great career path. There are startups with great technologies. How GCC is using these startups? Are these startups also a good, what we can say, a target area of these students to seek an employment? And could you throw some light on that, sir?
Hello. Just to cover the previous points, right? So I think we were talking about diversity. I just want to give some data points for that. So today we have like 40% of Verizon employee who's a woman and 60% which is a man, and we want to go to like 50-50. That was the target. And not sure if you would have seen the metric. There is something called Great Place to Work, and we are eighth the best company to work for in India, and the second IT company to work for in India. And these are some of the things that they also said to make sure that the diversity factors are all taken care. Just going back to how are we working with startup and collaborating with startup and emerging technologies. As Vijay was pointing out, GCC is not a cost arbitrage anymore. I mean, they don't start GCC in India to just cut down on cost. I know there would be a lot of argument between HR and US and India saying, guys, the rates are become same. If I'm spending like $50 in India, I'm spending only $100. Gone are the days where it is 1:5, and it is just 1:2 now, and they are not worried about cost anymore. So it is about the innovation and other things that are available, and then the resources like what we are seeing over here, that is available for us to go out and use them on some of their innovations that they want to do, right? Starting with targeted scouting and partnership, right? So today we make sure that as part of our own COE, we look at what are the various startups that are available in India, and we pick them. We have 2 or 3 companies work with us on talking about the problem statements that we have and then how they can solve. And if everything goes good, we go out and give the funding that is needed for them to go out and implement the same software or a product that they are working on to solve our business problem. That is one main thing that we do as part of a center of excellence that we do. And then actively participate in tech conference, startup pitch events, and industry meetups to identify potential collaborators, right? This is also one thing we do. We look at all options to see, for example, IIT Madras has its own incubator center. So we go out and visit them to make sure that we are able to see if there is any partnership that we can do with them in order to see they can solve some of the customer experience challenges that we have. That is also something that we take care. Leverage innovation platforms. This is very, very important. So we do work with various companies that they have, which has a common platform together where we innovate together and then we share knowledges with them, right? That is very, very important. One main thing that we want to do is creating a mutually beneficial exchange, right? Being part of telecom industry, we would say Geo is the best player when it comes to application framework and the architecture and design that they have put in for whatever telecom business that they are running here. Every time CTO or a CEO comes from US, we make sure that we are going to Bombay, we are going to Mumbai, and then sit with Geo people to just go out and look at how they are solving some of the customer experience. And that is very, very important. So it is mutually beneficial where we do exchange on things that we have as problem and then the solution that we are using, and also Geo talks about it. And I'm not sure if you heard about it. There is something called TM Forum, which is specific for telecom platform. So even though all the companies fight on the share market, but T-Mobile, Verizon, and all the big telecom companies across the world work together on solving some of the common challenges that is available, and then we give it as a framework and then make sure that everyone are using as a common tool. Finally, building an innovation ecosystem, incubator and accelerator program. I think most of the people over here have also set up incubators and accelerator program across all the colleges. We also talked about how do we see some of those happening in SRM, so there will be more progress that is happening on those areas. And internal cultural shift, right? That is very, very important, right? So we have to accept, the company has to accept, right? Because we are in this industry for 20 years or so, we were able to accept that, okay, it is not something that we can solve as a single company. They have to have a cultural change, make sure that they are able to work with all the other telecom companies over here, share the problem, and then make sure that it is happening. I think those are some of the areas where we make sure that we work with startup and emerging technologies. And I have to say, at least 6 or 7 startups we have worked with India, we have also taken across to our program called Verizon Ventures. That is a startup program that we have as a whole global venture company. And then we have funded almost 6 or 7 companies in India in order to work with us closely through Verizon Ventures.
That's so fantastic, Ganesh, to hear from you that, So, friends, there are lots of serials of brands which you may not aware is also getting popularity. Is that what the message what Ganesh is giving? All that you have to keep your eyes and ears open. On the previous questions, one of the questions Ganesh was saying that you have to read the industry. As you read the industry, you get familiarized with all the nook and corners that what is coming up in a particular segment. Okay, either it is a brand or a product or whatsoever the case. So while I have my serials of questions in the story format, I would like to pick a couple of questions what was already given by your fraternity to me. There's a couple of interesting questions. Probably I leave it to one of you, and if I may ask Swami this. There are students comes with very good, impressive projects with no internship. Students with very good internship with a project which does not have a greater focus. Who is most competent in the job market?
Yeah, that's a very tricky question as well. So one of the thing, right? I think the resume is the face value for the individual as well. I totally understand from that particular perspective this question as well. Definitely, your resume carries a lot of weightage because think about a situation if I open a position, not one person is going to apply it. There are many in the market, in the industry who is going to apply for that. So that's from your resume part of it. The second part of it is there. The question is, how are you going to look at, or how the industry is going to look at? I would say definitely there is a weightage for that, but always no, it's not a rejection criteria. At least to me personally, I have hired people who has not done any internship, but they had the clear cut of IQ and EQ, which is really required for them to perform well. So that I have done it in my past experience as well. And with the internship, right? And I think I covered it in the first question itself. By looking at the resume, I don't know like whether the internship is done to the depth of their knowledge or not. That is also one of the points that I always look at, not for selection or not for rejection as well. So that is the other point that definitely most of, I think both Vijay and Ganesh will also agree to that. When we are looking at the profile for screening, what we look at is what skill set, what, because we wanted people to be hired. We don't want people to be not hired. That is not, we wanted to reject, then we are looking at, no, that's not. The screening itself, no, is definitely going to lot of, we will invest time on it because look at one thing, right? If we lose a talent and tapped by our competitor, that is going to be very serious, right? If you are not able to hire the right talent that is really required for us, it is a competitive market who the others could be able to hire them. So it's definitely not too long answer short, right? It is not definitely a criteria that you always need to have, but that is a great thing to have it in your resume as well.
So, Swami sir, that's a good eye-opening point. So, whatever you do, do it with your depth. Okay. So it's just not eating the top of the grass. So in the earlier stage of the discussion, Swami has touched up this point. I just want to throw this to Mr. Vijay again. This is again the questions from the students. Two questions in one go. What are the basic criteria when the product GCCs comes for an interview as seen as one of the main attribute? And what are the general mistakes students make so that they won't clear the assessment?
I will take the second question first. What are the general mistakes the student try to make in a, let me say, in a campus interview, right? So they will try to oversell themselves. I have done this, I have done that. So when the first question that we will typically ask is, say something about you. Okay, and then when they are actually talking about themselves, that's when we also run through their resumes. Some students have a tendency to oversell themselves. It's not about your marketing, okay? It's about what you have done and what you really know. In the process of impressing the interviewer, sometimes the students try to oversell themselves. That's the primary mistake that I see in having done campus interviews for several years now. So don't oversell yourself. Stick to what you have put in your resume and let the interviewer talk to you. Okay? So that is the primary thing that I would like to give as an advice for people that are attending campus interviews. From a skill set perspective, what I typically expect is, or what any typical company or a GCC would typically be expecting is, from a fresh engineering graduate, we will typically look at what the engineer has listed in his resume as the skill set he would know. Say, for example, I could be running a telecom project or a networking project or a video decoding project, but I cannot expect those skill sets from the engineer or from the young student that I am interviewing. Definitely not. Okay, that I would definitely expect from a guy who is seasoned enough, a couple of years experience in the industry, or for that sake, if he is several years into the industry, I would typically start asking about the depth of the work that he has done, but definitely not to a final year student who is appearing for a campus interview. So the source of truth for me to ask questions is going to be what he or she has listed in their resume, and typically any interviewer would start the conversation from that. The reason why I'm saying is, in one of my earlier organizations, we were trained to take what kind of questions to be asked for a campus interview, and these were basically inputs that are given by stalwarts in the industry who had trained interviewers. Okay, so if you had listed, say, I know Python, or I know Java, or I know C, C++, typically a problem statement would be thrown at them, and to see how good they are able to present to the interviewer what they had mentioned in the resume. So that is typically the skill set that we as recruiters would expect from a fresh engineer, and see how good is their awareness of the technology, say whatever be it is, okay, Python, C, C++, React JS. There are a lot of them are available. Could be anything. Okay, so instead of going for the technology awareness, we would typically look at the means to achieve the end is what we typically look at, not the output product itself. The code he could be typically writing might not work, but if he is able to understand the problem statement and approach the problem statement in the manner in which he is able to actually come for a solution. So that approach and that means is what typically any recruiter or any interviewer would be looking for as the primary skill set for a fresh graduate. So it depends on the technology. Sometimes it depends on the technology on which I work. Okay, so as I said, I working in a networking company. So when I went to one of the colleges, I saw a resume where the guy has written, I have created a tunnel, a VP and tunnel is a project that he has worked on. So that was very impressive. I said, okay, come, let's talk about that. Okay, very rare something like this happens. It's very rare. Okay, apparently I rejected the guy because he has listed that he has worked on a VP and tunnel, but he was not able to talk about what a VP and tunnel actually is, or for what reason that VP and tunnel needs to be created. Okay, so long answer short, again, when what you have listed in your resume, try to answer precisely, or cultivate a cultivate a habit of knowing the depth of what you have listed in your resume. We come with a very open mindset when we hire college grads. We don't expect them to be experts in a chosen field of technology. If you had mentioned, I know AML, or for let's say anything, could be anything, it could be data structures, it could be algorithms, that's an added advantage. That's going to create some amount of enthusiasm in us to ask more questions on that. But the moment we are able to figure out that it's only adding a decoration to your resume and you are not having a depth of knowledge in that, it's going to push us back. Okay, so keep your resume simple, and from a recruiter point of view, especially whether it's GCCs or for let's say any other companies, we come with a very open mindset in hiring engineers from colleges.
That's quite comprehensive, Vijay. Hope you heard him completely. That's we get into the trap. They don't put the trap for us. Okay, so we come to the fag end of our discussions. Let me ask that the most important question to Ganesh. This would be revolving in your mind. I have hybridized your query as well. What I have as a last question in me. So, what are the emerging technologies? I'm basically going to ask you to leak the syllabus. Okay, and where these kids could focus upon, and where is this knowledge dynamics of the shift is happening, and which, say for example, most of them may be in second or third year or fourth year, as we could see a GCC tick mark happening in next 3 years. So we spoke about SAPs and ERP systems, and then we spoke about automations, RPA, and then we spoke about AML. And as they prepare on something after 3 years, we should not be focusing on something. So now, how they can do themselves, friends? I'm asking this question on your behalf. Put your ears to Mr. Ganesh. Over to you, Ganesh.
Thanks again. Right. So going back, where do you guys want to focus, right? So I know that there is AML background and normal core computer science, right? The area that they should focus on, starting with full stack development, right? So any GCCs or any other companies other than GCCs, they need application to be developed, and automatically full stack development is something that they are looking at. But now it has become a concept where it is about full stack development. I mean, they call it as full stack development for even developing an application. They call it as full stack data scientist for a product development. So it is not model development anymore. It is ML product development. So each and every product is coming out with a GenAI added to the whole background. Like, so knowing the concepts, knowing technically, I mean, I would even say go back to your 12th standard or first year mathematics, where you need to just understand the whole maths behind how each and everything works is very, very important. This is very, very important, right? I say to my son even today, hey guys, do the maths right. That is very, very important. And just coming back to GenAI is what is growing. I think people can argue, hey, it is full stack development, but every product is having a part to play where a GenAI is coming into it. When and most probably everyone would have tried ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Anthropic, and every other item, right? You first need to think of how it is working. It's not like where you just ask a question. I'm sure, Mohammed, you did all the exercise. It takes almost $250 million to just run an application to build that model. And if something happens, they have to redo, which is another $250 million. So put your efforts on thinking about, okay, how it is done, and there is a lot of things that is available on YouTube or wherever it is where you can really know how it all works. That is also important. Again, when you do that, it just doesn't cover ML. It covers a basic concept of data engineering. How is the data all copied from a PDF or a image or a website into where it is getting put now? Then finally, when that is done, the model is in production, right? Something which was not great 2 years or 3 years back, and now it is cybersecurity. That is very, very important. And in this world now, that has become a hard chapter where whatever that is coming out of Gen AI, right? So I can't find a website or an app today without a Gen AI product. You use Swiggy, you use anything, it is using the world knowledge that is already available and then the local knowledge that is inbuilt to the company. So the amount of information that they are sharing, the amount of information that they are putting outside, anyone can put a case on top of them saying like the information given was wrong or the information was stolen from a website. So the amount of time that you have to put on cybersecurity is very, very important. I would say even the colleges to see how do you cater the course to see how it solves the responsible AI problem of what is getting shown to the users. I think because I'm from my AML background, I'm just biased towards that, but I also covered the full stack development, data engineering aspects of it, responsible AI aspects of it, and finally model development.
Ganesh, that was a long list of menu card. Thanks for leaking that off. I could broadly classify strong on your fundamentals. That's what I've asked my son to open up the content of the mathematics book and ask him to write one engineering application against each topic. What is factorization? What is an engineering application of factorization? What is algebra? What is calculus? What is trigonometry? Where it ends? So that is what he is mentioning. Okay, everything percolates to some of your mathematical fundamentals, and he spoke about cybersecurity and to become a data scientist, data modeling, data engineering. So focus on the fundamentals, start from the two tables and you become an expert in the 20th table. Don't just go to that kind of the more advanced applications. So that's a good list of internship topics or the project topics or the focus where you have to keep upon for your placement thing. So connecting one point as the last question for the session and to Mr. Swami, and there was also a question which has come from on the same lines from the student, one of the students here. Walmart has recently announced Sparkathon, inviting students to pitch their ideas to enhance future of retail. So what is it about? Could you throw some light on it, sir?
So actually, definitely, as I was talking before, right? Definitely, these GCCs really wanted to attract talents. This is one form of attracting talents. We really wanted to people to think about the next generation of retail. What should be the future of retail? That's what this Parkathon is all about. You come out with an idea, and then no, you just develop that idea to a solution, and then no, you really present it. There are some tight deadlines have also been provided. I think if you go to Sparkathon, you could get all the details, but I will cover it at a very high level. Four broad themes that we really wanted to look at. One is data, as Ganesh mentioned, data engineering. Data engineering is one of the niche area today, so that you could develop a lot of insightful information about the customer, what they buy, when they buy, how they buy, and everything. So that's the experience part you could be able to look at. Have the visualization of the customer life cycle as well. So that's one part of it. So the theme is data. The second part of the theme is on the future of retail as well. If you wanted to know the future of retail, I think our CEO has clearly given a 1 hour video as a link in the Sparkathon website itself. You could definitely watch it, what his vision is all about, and where the retail industry is marking towards as well. So that's the second part of it that I really wanted to call out. That's future of retail. And we have our CTO Suresh also clearly called out what kind of a technology advancement that is really required. When you go, all these details are available in the Sparkathon announcement email or the link that you get in the social media. The third one that I wanted to call out is on the supply chain as well. Today, you think about the supply chain, right? There are a lot of things. The logistics in it is huge, and you could definitely think about how Swiggy is solving it, and can we implement that in? And lot of um, MNCs have already started thinking about how we could be able to deliver the goods to our customer in a faster manner. Can it be 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or how you could be able to? So that's the another thing around the supply chain aspects. And last but not the least, very ideal towards what Ganesh was mentioning about on the emerging technology. Emerging technologies in Gen AI, AML, part of it, and then no, from a cybersecurity standpoint, and even going beyond that is one more technology, emerging technology I wanted to call out in the space of retail, how AR and virtual reality can also help. So these are all some of the areas that you could be able to think through the problem statement. For you to come out with an idea and then participate in that, please do watch our CEO's message so that you could be able to really, before thinking about it, you can come out with a relevant idea. And who knows, one of the team formed in this particular college can be the winner, and they have a lot of exciting prizes as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Swami, for detailing those opportunities. So that was a great discussion with three of our market leaders. It's not the land that we are going to seek opportunity. Okay, it's a land that which is throwing opportunity. How big is your hand is going to determine that what's a career you're choosing upon. So, and as you see, you don't have to go or look too far. Chennai is one of the great GCC hub. From the industry expertise, it's a great analysis. We're going to have the 30% of the India's GCC center. And the lots of, if you see it in the recent article, government has also formed Guidance Tamil Nadu, where it is attracting top brands of the world to form the GCC center in Chennai. So near future, not less than about at least 2 million opportunities coming up on an average. Okay, it's all that how best you are available with the adequate knowledge for those opportunities. And lastly, that it's not that that you are too far off from the knowledge resource. Knowledge resource is available at your disposal, but how well you are equipped, you are disciplined, and you have been meticulously planned is what you are going to be in the future. So I thank one and all the three leaders from the market for giving out their thoughts, which is going to help this institute and the students towards tune them towards the GCC employment. Number one, and thanks a lot for the opportunity from the institution side. On behalf of four of us, and I would pronounce my gratitude to see you all and to share our thoughts to us. Thank you. Thanks one and all.
Thank you, sirs, for your.
Mohammed, few more minutes. Any questions? So pretty much of your questions, we got it here and answered. Yes. Mohammed, does one candidate on the fifth row goal on the way?
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Inbathamarasi Balakrishnan from Department of Information Technology. So, my question is, what kind of courses or certifications do you actually expect from the fresherman so that we could be paid highly? Actually, most of us are willing to be placed at high packages.
No, good that you're asking the question. First of all, what have you guys tried? That is very important, right? Today I talked about there are free courses that are available specific for student on cloud technology, Gen AI, AML, cyber security. All of those are available in GCP and also in AWS. Certification on those is itself good enough. And also, again, we have talked in length with your principal over here to just make sure that you guys are also ready. But end of the day, courses that are there, and then there are free courses that are also available in Coursera, Edu, and all the places. So which is relevant to your platform. Information technology, data analytics is something that you can try on. Cloud, if there is cloud engineers doing something on cloud, clearing certification on AWS and GCP, that also adds matter to the resume. So I think that is one of the input I can give.
Yeah, I think Ganesh covered from the certification part of it. I'm going to go a little bit beyond that. So doing certification is not only the criteria that you are going to get selected or highly paid. Go in depth. I think that covered by Vijay and Ganesh. Think about those points as well. When doing certification is just the face value on your resume to look good. But beyond that is you need to go in depth, understand it, and then start experiencing that particular technology in which you are certified. If you are not going too depth into it and then clearing a certificate, we feel like you are theoretically good. But the industry requires the practical experience that is really required for us to be successful.
Thanks, Inba.
And we can do send links on certification courses and everything. Normally, we just suggest on for college students, so we will send it across.
If you actually just run through LinkedIn itself, there are a lot of people who are actually posting free certifications that are available. I myself have taken a lot of those courses, okay, for my personal education. But the point is, getting a certification would help you get propelled in your career much faster, because it's not just a certification that's going to put you in a different league altogether. How you are going to employ the knowledge that you have gained based on that certificate and use it to, be a front runner among several others is going to propel you in your career. So certification is just going to provide a platform from which you can actually leap. But it all depends on how much you are going to leap. It's not going to put you in a different pedestal altogether.
I think when you said that, right? So again, don't shy away from doing courses, because even at our age, we do certifications. We do look at some of the LinkedIn posts and then understand it, right? But the reason behind that is, again, for you guys, we can't say no to it. Yeah, you need to have the job and everything, so you are doing. But going back to him, I do the course because I want to make sure that I'm using that to solve some of the challenges that I'm having in my own work. I suggest my developers, my employees, to make sure that, hey, I was able to understand this is what is happening in this after doing the certification. Why can't you just go out and try? The outcome of the certification would be like, how are you going to use in the company where you're joining, or in the intern where you're doing, right? That is something that you need to concentrate on finally. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello, sir. So myself, Jeevan from the Department of Information Technology. So I would like to ask question to Mr. Ramachandran, sir, from Deloitte. As Deloitte concentrates on risk, financial assurance, and audit, what are the other technical jobs from Deloitte? And I'm curious to know about those.
So the risk assurance tax audit is just 40% of Deloitte. 60% of Deloitte is the technology consulting. So whatsoever we have spoken about the AML, ERPs and all that is part of the technical consultation. So the 60%, more than 60% of the Deloitte's population is focusing on the technology side, like your IT product, processes, services, product developments, GCC, enabling GCCs, etc. And on the typical tax audits and the risk advisory areas also, the technology is enabled. As we have chartered accountants who do the mainline processes, they have set of engineers under them to bring in automation to do the kind of technology auditing, using technology on taxation complications and all this stuff. So technology is not the way of job or the way of business. Technology is an enabler in all these functions. Okay, even in the drug designs you take, or even in the pharmacologies or pharmacovigilance, you take those sort of work, hospitality and all that, the technologists, we would need the same kind of Java developers, we would need the ERP specialist, we would need the automation engineers, Gen AI people, in all the streams of job. And apart from that, technology consulting, it's also one of the exclusive service line. So when you come into Deloitte, the audit or the tax, it will have equal amount of engineers when compared to the financial experts as well. So it's just not you find the chartered accountants, cost accountants, and commerce. Okay, you have more people of engineers when compared to those commerce and the financial consultants as well.
Anyone else?
Somebody is calling from Siberia, please. Thanks for that last question, gentlemen.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, myself, Mani Bharati from CSA department, and I would like to ask that it's a general question actually. So, as we all know that the AI is burgeoning in all fields today, but more companies are offering us an SD role or full stack role for the freshers. But as a fresher, how can we actually equip ourselves to get into that Gen AI roles in the near future?
So it's our near future, right? So when you are entering your college, it's the final year, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay. So so I think that was one of the chapter that we want to connect. We did not, right? So there is good amount of upskilling and reskilling that is happening already, and most probably anyone who is working on AIML and Gen AI products, we have added a curriculum to our training, either through internship or this one, where we do have people getting trained on Gen AI, right? Not only that, we enable the things that is needed for the candidates who are coming in to make sure that they are able to upskill on their own. So the basic training that is needed, when you come into Verizon, we have like 4 or 5 courses, Gen AI 101 to Gen AI 501. So with which I think when you go through all of those courses, automatically you would be able to equip yourself to start working on Gen AI products. Another thing I was suggesting is, again, the links that we would be sending across to ma'am over here would also help you in understanding how do you do that. One thing that everyone suggested, you need to be on LinkedIn, and if you are on LinkedIn already, there is good amount of free courses that are getting already recommended on all of these emerging technology areas. I think if you would have seen by now, you would not be asking these questions for sure, because I have taken the courses, free courses from GCP, and because anyone who is joining our company, not everyone is coming with a Gen AI experience because it's just 2 years old. There's no way that they will be all equipped with whatever knowledge that is needed for Gen AI. So these courses are important, and end of the day, I think you need to finish those trainings so you know the basics of it, and then working on your role, automatically you will catch up on what is needed for your next step.
Any more questions, or we'll adjourn the session? Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for asking the questions, and thank you, sirs, for sharing your esteemed knowledge and experience with us.
At this time, I call upon Ms. Ritika Sivaraman, final year student, to express her gratitude with vote of thanks.
So, good afternoon to everyone present here. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the student community to thank each and everyone here for your valuable presence and cooperation that has helped in the smooth conduction of the event. I firstly thank our esteemed dignitaries for accepting the invitation to spend time with us off your busy schedule. I like to thank Mr. R.K. Ramachandran sir for the first eye-opener that no matter the discipline we take, we end up in IT. That was actually a big ray of hope to everyone here. I also like to assure Mr. Swaminathan sir and Mr. Vijay Kumar sir from the students' end that we will battle with lead code and swim through the online test and never rest until we conquer all the quest. We'll focus on our intern tasks with earnestness and precision, breaking them down to grasp every detail. We definitely will explore the industry, networking with the intellects. Last but not the least, make our new hobby as mastering free GCP certifications and the exclusive syllabus that was leaked with the zeal. Respected panel, undoubtedly you all have lit up the fire in us to achieve our dreams. We will incorporate all the navigation and advisory to ascend our ladder to success in our career. With expertise from Deloitte, Walmart, Verizon, and Comcast, on behalf of the students of Easwari Engineering College, I assure we will broadcast your guidance and create and adapt to industry trends that we will last. I would also like to quote Mr. Ganesh sir's initiative to take the milestone if from the entrepreneurs side from Easwari Engineering College. We will assure you that we will start a startup that will give us that will be taking the initiative of Ganesh sir as milestone and giving 50-50 men and women employment. So today marks the commencement of an exciting series of panel discussions. It's not just one, but there are more to continue. The management of Easwari Engineering College is dedicated in bringing outstanding panel just like today's to propel our careers to new heights. We eagerly anticipate your continued support as we embark on this new journey together. Thank you all.
See, to all my students, we had another surprise this morning when we were sitting and discussing with all the panelists. We came to know that one of our alumni is in the head HR of Tamil Nadu or Chennai, and he's Mr. Rahul. So he came here to see all of you. I'm just handing it over to Rahul to give you 2 minutes.
Hello, hi, good morning. Is it morning or afternoon? Then why you said good morning? So that's the first thing, right? So you don't have to follow others. You have to know who you are. Okay, so you don't have to oversell. That is what. Okay, so how many of you watched Indian movie? Indian 1, 2, Indian 2. Right, okay. So how many of you watched Maharaja movie? Right? Okay. So how many of you read about Deloitte, Verizon, and the other organization came today? Huh? No, right? Okay. So that is the second thing. Okay. So I will show a few more demo. Okay. So I will have 2 more minutes, 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So you have to prepare. Okay, because I'm from down south. There is a 2 reasons that I'm successful in my career. One is the college. Okay, because when I opted for MBA HR and marketing, initially I wanted to choose system and marketing. Okay, but there is no system, so I have to choose HR. Okay, then I did internship. So that is a turning point. So you have to take your internship seriously. So that's where you will able to pitch in for your job interview. Okay, so that is point number 2. Okay, so how many of you think, because Deloitte is known as an auditing and consulting firm, how many of you know that engineering student can play a role in auditing? Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you agree or do you disagree? Engineering students can play a role in auditing. Do you agree or you disagree? Okay. So like 20 years back or 30 years back, if you go for a vacation, what is that you carry? What is that you carry? Suitcase, then camera, then cash, right? Okay. So now what do you carry? Cash? No. What is that? You carry UPI, right? Okay. So which means there is a lot of opportunities. Okay. Most of the audit now it is based on the technology basis. So you should know what are the opportunities it is available in the market. So that is what then you have to explore. Okay. Then there is Inba Tamilarasi Balakrishnan, right? Yeah. So I really appreciate you because you told your full name. So whenever people we ask name during the interview, they may not say the full name. I really appreciate you. But your question is, please don't. So your question is very much interesting. So how to place yourself in a high earning job? It is very simple. Do what you like. You have to choose the job what you are liking it. Okay. That is very simple because I will tell you, we may feel tired after 6 o'clock, okay, or after 9 o'clock, but at the same time, we will book the ticket in the night show. Why? Because we are interested, but at that time, we don't feel that much tired. Okay, so you should choose the job what you like, and most importantly, how you can be successful in the life. Once you get placed, you should trust the organization. For example, if you like the job and you are doing a great job, what you like, okay, so maybe there may be no recognition in the appraisal or some other process. Still, you have to trust the organization and you have to proceed with that. Okay, so ultimately it will come to you. So these are the something that it's learned from my journey. I wanted to share with you. So wish you all the best, and maybe we'll stay connected. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think they're clapping because சீக்கிரம் விடுங்கப்பா நாங்கள் பசிக்குது அப்படின்னு. Thank you.
Guys, please rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जाहे तब शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे